let's ask the question that a lot of people in the state ask. If and when Arizona may run out of water.
Well, it won't be tomorrow, but other than that, I don't have a crystal ball. And again, we gotta put it in perspective. We're talking about surface water or Colorado River water or Salt River water, and we're talking about groundwater. From the latest information that we've got in terms of groundwater, depending on what basin you're in, and ag specifically, it's believed that we've got at least 15 or 20 years, and that could be a moving target. It could be more, it could be less.
Right.
We need more studies, a little more studies as we start utilizing the groundwater that hasn't been used in a number of years because there's been cap available. But, when's the drought going to end? I can't tell you when that's going to happen. So there's no good answer for that. And if somebody's putting one out there, it's speculation at best.
Carrie?
And like Matt said, the important part is to think that there's more than just one source of water. We have the Colorado River water. We have the in-state river water, which is the SRP stuff.
Right.
And then you have the groundwater.
Right.
Keep in mind that in the western part of the metro area, there's the Harquahala Valley.
Right.
Underneath that has a huge aquifer that's projected to be 3 times Lake Mead's side of that aquifer. Then if you look at some of the other aquifers for the groundwater, remember, we've been banking, as they call it, the water from the CAP. So instead of it being rainwater to replenish that aquifer, we've been using the CAP water to build those aquifers up, which takes, I would guess, about an average of 20 years from when it comes into the top to filter all the way through to get into the aquifer. And we've been doing this since the 60s with the CAP. We had the canal finished in 71. So we've rebuilt the aquifers from when we depleted them before. And now there's also what they call the active management areas. So the ability to drill more wells, to dig more of that water out is limited because of the Arizona Department of Water Resources and those AMAs too. So water, I don't think we're running out tomorrow. We will have a reduction in one source of our water supply, which isn't derived from rainwater. It's derived from the snowpack that happens up in Colorado to start with. So keeping in mind that it gets hotter here, we have more weather here, and we're utilizing it here, but it's not things that we're doing here that impact Colorado River. But we have 3 sources to get it.
So that's, a lot of folks see that we've had a great monsoon season here in Arizona, which is, in different parts of the state. So that's the rainwater you're talking about. That ultimately makes it down into the aquifer. So
those will go down into the aquifer. That's your in-state water supply too. So when you're looking at that rainwater and what do we have going on with SRP and what are their, is Horseshoe Dam, is that filled up? What's going on there? That's that local in-state water that's coming. And that's the water flow.
Surface water.
Right. Yeah. And more important really though for that is your winter snowpacks than your runoff from monsoons. We've had a great monsoon season. It's helped. That's going to be short-lived. None of this discussion that we're having right here is rational now for kicking the can down the road on how we handle water. And I want to make sure people understand that. We're not sloughing it off saying, hey, we got all kinds of water, don't worry about it. We live in a desert. Sometimes, maybe often, at least historically, we've forgotten that, and we need to address that. But water's not, the tap's not going to run dry tomorrow unless something's wrong with your setup.